salaries and wages 50% above 2020.
Yes.
What in the world?
What in the world? Well, some of that is increases in my salary to get me up to par with the surrounding counties, and I'm still gonna be on the low level. And then there's, for my deputy registrar, there's an increase of hers too, to get her up where she needs to be. And then, one of my part-time person, I'm increasing her, there's two of those part-time, I want to increase their salary. Because those two part-time people saved me in that last weekend election. They are very good, they're very underpaid. $10 an hour is what they were at. We'd like to move them to 12, which is not a big increase, but, and for my, I told my, early voting people, I've got if we're, when do we talk about, or do we talk about the capital, the possible move?
We can talk about that right now.
Okay. Okay, so that is in my capital as we talked, 100,000 for that. And so if we do that move, I have a
And
drawing.
then we've got off of the salary line.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I moved on to my early workers and how we're gonna set it up to move people faster. That would be an increase. I'm adding more employees for that, for early voting.
Okay. Is there any way we can get something like that
Mhm.
showing?
Yeah. It's a bit large too. Yeah. Well, I'll make you a copy. Do you want, you need to go make the copy now?
Good.
I can make
That'd be
it.
great.
This is
Okay.
good.
Since it's not just straight across the board, it's give us something
Yeah, and that's got everybody, all the people that work, are gonna be working. Because, I ended up with some very dedicated, good employees and that work their time off for very small amount. And, right now, the city we just had an election, and they got one of my best workers up there working for them. I'm like, you're not leaving, you're still coming back down here, but they're paying her good money. So I'm like, oh. But, so that will kind of help explain the increases. And because if we, and I do have a drawing, Sarah, I spoke with her, and kind of guide you through that. If we, it takes me a minute, the second page is got all the, that's kind of would be the best page to look at. Up here, this is the front door entrance.
to.
And-
What is this a drawing of?
The Boys and Girls Club.
And this is the configuration you would need.
Yes. Yes. Because they can't tell me what they're gonna leave and what they're gonna take. Because, they've got a lot of cabinets and stuff that I possibly could use, but No, they were made specially for them, so,
I'm good.
When are they moving out? Do we know their date?
December 31st was the last day I was given.
I volunteered to help them move. So you'll go in the front, and then that'll be our little reception area. The
Before you put too many hours in this, so this is not given yet.
Yes, I know.
And this was for your whole office or?
Yeah, this is for moving the registrar's office to there. An office here, and then basically we would put up a wall, there's a bathroom here, this is a bathroom here. And I'd want a wall here, and then this is a hall. This is a big room here in the center. There's glasses here, a window here, and a window here, and a window here. This window, we would need to build a wall to cover that up, because that's looked like where the bay door was. That's our plan, you know, if we could go through with this, to cover that wall up. And this will be our server room, where this little extra here, this is where we would put the EMS server. We would take it from Scott's office, and it would be done down here. This way, all elections could be handled at the Civic Center. On election night, day before election, because then this is the gym here, and I could allow the public to come through this door. And this is a big open space, and people could sit here and watch what we're doing, or they could come and look here, and they could see everything we're doing, from opening the ballots, that we'll have tables in here. It's a big room that we could do that, so we could open ballots in this room, and it would be a secured room, and the server, EMS server, would be inside a secured room, and that's what the state requires. And I asked if we could move the server, and we can, because I will be the election supervisor. That's my new title. It's Scott's the superintendent, and then I'll be the supervisor, and that way the server can come down and stay here.
Okay.
And then, like I said, on election night, it could be the perfect setup for the public. It would be great for them, everybody could watch everything that we're doing. On this side of the gym, where the double glass doors are, my poll workers can come and bring their supplies back here election night. And then we would just have to walk from here to turn in the memory cards. Like we go from the Sally Port, the back and down the hall. The same thing could be done all here. This is a kitchen. It would stay the same. We don't know if they'll take the cabinets. There's a door here, and there's another bathroom here. So, not really a whole lot of changes other than the walls, the floor. The floor has a river running through it. Yeah, the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh,
It's real,
the drawing.
it's
Yes,
real
yes.
cute for the kids,
Yeah.
it's really nice, and they got a big
Thought you
old
meant there was a
tree.
pipe leak or something. Karleen was like, that's where all the swimming pool water was going.
And there's a big tree on the wall, it's really friendly, but, I think I'd like the tree covered up. So, that's if anyone knows Sarah Cole, she's my poll manager for Cherry Log, and she's the one that kind of helped me to go look at it and see and then draw the layout of, I think what would be a very good workable thing for me. And then early voting, that would be our increase in the people in early voting. Because I could do 3 check-in stations, bam, bam, bam. Get them in and get them out. And of course, there again, you know, if it's a runoff, we might not have to have as many workers, you know, so.
If it's not a run.
Even in the runoffs, because they're usually a slower turnout. So, you know, I could, depending on how the main election went, then I might just go down to 2 check-in stations and not have quite as many machines out, and maybe only 1 scanner for that. But I plan on doing 2 scanners where, because that seemed to be a lot of my holdup in there, where people were putting their ballots in the scanner. That's where we kind of got bogged down, because, you know, we were having to explain for them to do it, and, you know, so they would kind of stand there a little bit, and so that got slower there. But, let's see, professional services, I just put 1,000 for that. Oh, the postage is big time postage. If we move me down there, now I have to, of course, notify the state. I have to mail every voter a notification that the office is being moved, and that's 24,001 voter as of Friday. So times 52 cents, depends on how big, runs into 11. If I move down there, then I'll have to have my own postage meter, and I've incorporated that into that $13,000.
What is contract services?
We have a program that's called, it's a program that we use, in early voting, and we have to pay that every year.
We haven't paid it in the past, though.
I'm sorry?
We haven't paid it in the past.
Yes, but I don't know where we coded it at the last time.
What is it?
Contract services, it was for, Easy Vote.
It probably was in contract service.
There's nothing there for prior years. Current year or prior.
Let me look. Did you say Easy Vote? Is that who the vendor would have been?
Yeah. While she's looking at that, I also talked to ETC about moving, and they gave me a quote, and that's $662.99.
Well, what is that to move?
My phones and things like that down there, the internet. And then I did talk to Adam about security. I'll get it printed out. What his quote was.
What sort of security are we looking at?
Like, the, drop box out front, no matter what, looks like I'm gonna have to take it down. I just left it because we've not had elections, because there's still talk about it, so I don't know if they may change their minds, but as of right now, because of that new law, the drop box has to be inside my registrar's office. And, you know, that's kind of nonsense, and that's what we argued. Why? We've got voters coming in here to vote, and they're gonna feel like they've gotta wait in that line to drop their ballot in there. What's the point in even having it? If they come in my office, they can hand it to us, instead of putting it in a drop box. But that's the law.
Government.
So, yeah, so they still have to walk in the building. It can't just be camera or security or anything.
Yeah. And so that has to be under surveillance, which would be in the Civic Center, is where we would put the drop box, because that would be at that time a part of my office, and it would have to be a drop box that I could move after the elections. And number one, the drop box has to be locked at 5 o'clock when we close every day.
What in the world?
Yeah,
Is
so-
it even worth,
Exactly.
do you
It's
have to
not-
have a Dropbox now? Since
We
you're-
do. See, and I
Legally, you have to
didn't,
have
yeah,
one?
I didn't put one up until November, because they just,
But it
was
has
like
to be
every-
in your office and closed, stopped at 5 o'clock.
and under surveillance at all times. So, I would need a camera for that, a camera for the EMS in the ballot team area. I think he quoted him for 3, and maybe one at my front door or something. It's like $6,000 or something, it was pretty expensive. So, in the capital, for that 10,000, let's see, I think I wrote that down. Because you and I talked about it, the 100,000, and that's where I'm talking about needing some additional computers. Let me get to it.
That was from the other conversation, right?
Yeah, when I ran it in together,
Sure.
because, you
This
know,
would be the 3 laptops and the 3 printers.
yes, and then, I would like to, update my computer. I don't need a new screen, I just need a new computer, because it's like getting really slow. And I was gonna call Trevor and see if, you know, he could.
I thought the desktop and printer that we put in on the other side was going to be your desktop.
No, because I got the newest one, the latest, and then it was time to update Sherry's. And so we updated hers, in which we've got hers sitting up front for a permanent, in which I would take that one to the new spot at the new place and have a desktop there and a laptop, because sometimes we might have 2 people sitting up there. Not most of the time, huh?
I'm getting confused.
I'm-
On the,
I'm confused too, because all this is just, because I'm telling you, it's really hard to do the budgets and think about, because, well, you know, if we go to one place, I may not need
well,
the
in
computer
elections.
from elections.
Okay, in elections, we said we needed 1 desktop and 1 printer.
Yes.
Okay, now, we're saying the registrar needs 1 desktop and 1 printer.
Yes.
But that's different than the elections desktop and printer. right?
Yes, yes. But if we make this move,
Mhm.
one computer would really all I need. Because I'm not gonna be working, now that I'm thinking about this, I won't be working out of 2 places. Like I work in the registrar part-time, I work up here in probate part-time. Well, it would all be here. So really, just one new one for registrars and that one could stay. I mean, you know, because it's old, but it don't have to be replaced right now.
Is it running Windows 7?
I think it,
If it is, it'll have to be replaced. Anything that's so old that it's running Windows 7, I'm assuming, we don't want to try to upgrade to Windows 10. I don't think it wouldn't be cheaper, but I think it would be more cost effective just to buy a new computer that comes with Windows 10.
okay.
Because anything running Windows 7 is going to be ancient. Probably wouldn't run Windows 10 anyway.
Because, so I should think about the basement computer, I think it's okay. I'll get Jay to check. Because everything in the basement will stay like it is. If the move takes place, all the equipment still will be maintained down there, and they'll work out of there to do the L&A and those types of things that they need to do. But as far as all the supplies that the poll workers get, I intend on taking it down here with me, so I can work on that stuff during the day sometimes and do all that from there.
Is there any advantage to all the things that they can still do in the basement? If there was room at the Civic Center to move that stuff over to, is there an advantage to that?
Gotta have a big spot at the Civic Center, and I don't see,
But if there was, is there an advantage to it?
yeah, they have everything in one place.
How much would it free up here? How much space would it free up here?
Basement, on the Sally Court, all that.
Well, Sally Court's shares anyway.
Yeah, but off the Sally Port is where all my machines are kept.
Okay, so it wouldn't for anything I think would be usable for.
Not office space, no. It would be useful for Eric, but Eric would get that. But, I mean, to me, moving the equipment for what it would cost us to build a space, or I don't know where, my brain hadn't even thought about that, but that does, you know, we've got a 2-hour fireproof place down there, and that's very nice to have for the
Wouldn't
equipment.
have that at Civic Center.
No. I checked with the state for the server, and of course it doesn't have to have it. I don't know why I was worried about that. But because Scott don't have a fireproof, you know, place, so that, you know.
I'm guessing most of the stuff on the server's in the cloud. But I don't know.
No,
No, it's strictly on that server.
yes, it's not connected to the internet whatsoever.
I can understand why.
Yeah, it's not, because, you know, that's what, when we're doing elections, when I explain to people, you know, it's not connected to the computer. It's taken from a drive and put on this and then transferred to this one, and then a drive is given to me, and I take it. And I'm the one that puts it on the computer that's connected to the internet to go to the Secretary of State. That's the only time that it gets connected. So, yeah.
On the easy vote question, I'm showing that we haven't paid them anything since 2016. Easy vote solutions.
Uh-huh. Oh. I've got
So that's one of
bills,
them filling up.
and I've got a PO. I'll go pull that.
Yes, there's another. I'm not sure there's not another.
Cause that's
Is it
how.
EASY or is it EZ?
No,
Yeah, okay. I don't show that we've paid them anything since 2016.
I'll get one. Because that's how I come up with, I would go through everything I paid through the year, through my purchase orders and look and try to make sure I got everything on there and, I'll pull that.
I'm looking to see if I might have in here something else, but I don't.
Could it go into elections?
Well, I don't have the easy vote set, I don't have the easy vote set up as a vendor. I mean, I've got them set up as a vendor,
Yeah, but not- yeah.
but we haven't paid them anything since 2016, so
Okay, I'll go pull that and see.
check on that.
Okay.
I don't have any other business.
Back to personal services, what, the sheet you get us here, I can't tell what percent increase you're talking about giving people.
I don't think I did a percentage.
You know, Sherry, for example, what's this $111.70?
We get a stipend, right,
For board members.
for board members.
And that's just added to yours and Sherry's. Y'all got on your regular paycheck, don't you?
Yeah, and then her and Mark. And, let's see,
Is your salary currently divided between you and
elections.
elections?
Yeah, I think I did 3 days in registrar and 2 days in elections.
I was just trying to figure out where the 49% increase was, and it's hard to figure. In personal services.
Because all the people you don't have to earn those,
Yeah,
especially if
this-
you want that extra.
this is what I gave. And then,
How many elections do we have in 20?
4, 5. 4.5.
Yeah, the fifth one was in January, wasn't it?
No, then that would be 6, yeah.
Okay.
Because March, they canceled. May, we started, and we were starting the 3rd week of early voting, and they canceled it that week. This when the election got canceled. And then, am I getting them wrong? No. The March one, the May one, oh, and then we went to June and we had a full election, which then became a combined election. Yeah, then August, and then November, and then January.
Did you have the desktop computer and the printer? Which line did you have it in? Did you have it included in one of these lines?
Yeah, I put it in on the capital.
On that 100? I just want to make sure I make my note out next to the right one.
And there is like, they're called dymos, they're little label makers. They're the best thing that's been invented. And we use those, a lot. And I want to get 2 more of those. If I got the money in my budget this year, I'm going to order them this year and they'll go on that budget and it won't have to come out of this one. so we could, you know, possibly shave some of it down.
For each election, you allow 17 days for all these
Are we-
election assistants.
Yes, sir. Because they've included another thing, now we have to have 2 Saturday votings, where we only had to have 1. Now, it's mandatory, we have 2 Saturday votings. They recommend Sunday, but as long as I can stop that, I don't believe in doing that on Sunday. I don't think
It
we're,
seemed like you were doing more than one Saturday voting anyway.
yeah,
You were.
no,
You
no,
were?
we were only doing 1 Saturday. I mean, the 3rd Saturday, we have to work because we are getting ready for, Monday. So,
I think part of the problem is trying to figure out the percentages on that is because we don't know, it's not across the board, it's individual. And we don't know what the current figure is to compare it to the proposed figure that we see here per individual.
Be good to have it at least.
Yeah.
of what,
What we've got here is the proposed, but we
okay.
don't have any idea what the current is.
Okay, so the current, you can take all the $12 people down to $10. Because that's what everyone was. But the $12, I'm increasing that because they're the people doing the check-in, and they're the most important part of getting it right. And it was very, very stressful, and because we have so many canceled ballots, I think I thought those with us.
And we're not questioning who gets what, we're just trying to figure out how to determine what
What
the percent increase is.
percentage?
If you give it, at least individual down here, give us the current rate
Okay,
too.
Tammy, 17. Terry, 15. Mark is the same, because he gets his stipend. Well, no, he works with us, he's a working board member. He comes and works with us on, election day, and helps us in the registrar's office, so, I don't know that was what I figured he was making last time that he was paid, so that should be the same. Becky was 10, Taylor was 10, and do I have Jake on that one?
Yes.
And he was 10. And Jake, I think I misfigured Jake for my office. Because he will probably take the place when he works for me up here as one of the check-in people. So,
Yeah, you're talking about the election budget, all
no, I'm talking about registrar.
Still registrar.
I'm still on registrar.
He'd be one of the election assistants,
Yeah,
so we can strike him down here.
yeah,
Okay.
because that's like almost I'm gonna have him in a double place.
right. But now, will that mean one more election assistant, or we can just strike him and keep this way?
And keep that the way it is, yeah. Yeah, because that's the way, I work. And I'm sorry, I'm just not never done budgets before, so.
Ain't it fun?
I mean, I apologize how confused I get, especially I got off on registrars when we were talking about elections. Oh, and in the Capitol, Sherry and our our printers they've been here when Jim Ferguson was here. They're still working.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and we've not replaced them because we like them, we're used to them, but, you know, they could go down at any time, so I kind of was thinking about that in the capital.
Well, I just got confirmation on the building that we were discussing, so. We want to have an offline discussion on where you're going to go.
Oh, Lord Jesus, please help me. Where are we putting it? And that's on camera, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have an old Okay, so. If that's all I have. If I have any more questions. Did I finish that? Yeah, with the people and their
Yes.
comparisons. You know what? We can take another one off of that. Because Taylor will work as a balloting person.
So she would come off the bottom but move up to the top?
Well, see, 17 days, we would need to do 17 days times 4, that'd be 4 elections.
68.
Okay. That's 68 days. And then she works normally 24 with me. So out of that, 68 days would come out of this 14,000. Does that make sense?
Well, 68 days she would be working.
Or no, what would be better, just take it one ballot team person off. Because that would take her place, yeah.
Okay, so take on the last election assistant ballot team.
I mean, I'll still have her, but I'll use her in that. So,
Sandy, you got all that?
I think Tammy and I'll probably just need to get together after this is done and we'll,
Then take another 20,000 off that.
well,
If we could hold it here another 30 minutes.
we'll see what we can
Another one.
That's good.
do. We'll, because I was gonna update my list here and I started doing that, but I think it's gonna be easier for you and I to get together on the updates. And then update everything on my end too.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're getting there.
Well, your position is,